a show of hands, I've got my gallery view open so I can see everybody, but by a show of hands really quick, who is excited to at least start taking some little itty bitty baby steps into getting our little kiddos slowly coming back into things here? I'm seeing a lot of hands go up. Yeah, we are very, very, very excited that we're at least taking some little steps in the right direction here. And I got to give a big shout out to Sarah Lynn and to Laura. You two have been pillars for me personally, just as we've been really working hard together to do the best that we can to take care of our kiddos and our people. So thank you both so much for what you guys have been doing. And I'm really glad that we're going to be able to have some time together tonight. Also in the chat feature, guys, please don't hesitate to let us know where you serve at in kids ministry. We've got people kind of all over our team here from both campuses and in different areas. So introduce yourself and, you know, give a big shout out to where you specifically serve at. That would be awesome. I'm going to be sharing a screen here in just a little bit that will allow me to put our presentation up front for you guys. And basically the flow of what it's going to look like, I'm going to work through this little presentation. I've got 9 slides that I'm going to work through that are really just going to be hitting the high level view of what our plan is specifically related to nursery this weekend. I know most of you serve in different areas in kids ministry, and those areas may not be open this weekend, but nursery is going to be open. And the reason why we're going to do that is things could look different in the next few weeks, especially as our timelines got preschool opening on the 13th of September and elementary is projected to open on the 27th. And we've actually paused Awana for the fall. We want to focus mainly just on nursery and then give more time for you guys to ask us questions. Connecting with you all and listening to you and having your questions here will really help us to just kind of know what you guys are expecting and what you're feeling, and we'll more than likely we will do another training like this again, specifically for elementary for sure and for preschool as we move forward. But we're really gonna, most of what's going to be covered in nursery will also apply to preschool today too. So let me get my screen shared here with you guys so that you can see our presentation for this evening. All right. And once I do this, I'm not going to be able to see everyone per se. So let me get this up and going here. All right. Where's the presentation button? Here it is. Okay. Awesome. So vision. I want to really hit this right now with everybody because we don't want to lose sight of the bigger picture. For a while, we have all probably felt like we've been in the weeds quite a bit, and sometimes it's good to take a step back and see what is the bigger picture really all about as we start trying to move in a direction of bringing our kids safely into the building. And this is what it is. This is our vision statement in our kids ministry here. We want to create a safe, kid-friendly environment where we help kids discover the truth of God's word. Amen, somebody. And introduce them to a relationship with Jesus. And we'll do this by connecting them with excellent leaders, you guys, every single one of you, and partnering with parents to help kids respond to the gospel. As we have been doing so since COVID happened, our team has been working really hard to put together resources and plans and things to put in your hands as parents. Some of you have your kids at home with you. You're trying to work at the same time. And this whole season has thrown so many of us for a loop. It's been a roller coaster of emotion. But throughout all of that, we still want to help you create that kind of environment at home where your kids are learning the truth of God's words and you're introducing them to a relationship with Jesus. And that's what we want for all of our parents as we are doing this together. But as we move back into the building, this is still our goal, and even more so now, to create a safe, kid-friendly environment where we are helping our children discover the truth of God's word, introducing them to Jesus, and connecting them to you guys, because you all are excellent, wonderful leaders. And Sarah Lynn and Lauren and I could not do this without you. As I always say, our volunteers, especially even our small group leaders who are with our kids, boots on the ground, working with them, You all are the lifeblood of our ministry, and we thank you all so much, seriously, for being here and being a part of this vision. So let's not forget this bigger picture, that our goal is to create this wonderful environment where kids are going to experience an opportunity where they will come to know Jesus, learn the Bible, and be partnered with wonderful people and partnering with their parents to give them a chance to respond to the gospel. But here's a question. What will this look like for children moving forward now? And you'll see a number of bullet points here. I'm just going to work through these slides over the next few minutes here, kind of point by point. Feel free to write some of these things down, and make sure you use the chat feature if you have questions, because we will do our best to get to them. But this is what it's going to look like moving forward, at least for the time being. Parents will RSVP their kids in preparation for Sunday. So RSVP will open each week on Monday, and it will close on Thursday. That gives us a little bit of time between Thursday at the end of our office hours and into the weekend to get things ready for those children who are coming. It also allows us to keep a head count in our rooms, because we're going to be running at a limited capacity. And we want to make sure that we have safe ratios in the rooms and that we know who's coming. But here's the thing, it's still going to be fun, you guys. We're not changing our curriculum. We're not changing what the kids are going to be learning. We're not necessarily changing their experience in the classroom per se. It is impossible to keep babies socially distanced, but we're going to make sure that the environment they're in is going to be as safe as possible. And we will get to some of those things in just a minute. But parents will RSVP kids each week. Every child and every volunteer that is serving will receive a temperature check upon arrival. This will happen, I'll explain a little bit later where this will happen at in our respective locations. We will still have a little bit of room for guests, and we'll also ask parents to make sure that parents of nursery and potty training children will pre-package their child's items like their diaper, their formula, etc., before arrival in a Ziploc bag with their name on it. And that will allow us to not have a bunch of diaper bags and strollers all in the hallway. This will be a simple and easy way for us to have exactly what we need for each child as we're caring for them on Sunday morning. And we will provide each child, this is a really great idea. Kudos to Sarah Lynn for helping us think through this strategically. We will provide each child that has RSVP'd a labeled personal item kit to be used each Sunday morning moving forward. So for example, up at Wake Forest, Audrey Barna has a little box right now in the room that she would be in that has her name on it. And that little box has staple items, essentially, that, not staples, guys, don't worry, not staples, but staple items that she will be able to use each week that she is RSVP'd to be there, so that she's not having all of those things shared with a lot of other children that could be in the room that morning. So that will look the same at each campus. But generally, that's the big picture there. It's still going to be a lot of fun. Kids are not learning anything different than they already have been. Our leaders will still continue to help them with approved crafts that we are planning for and that they will have in leader kits. Leaders will have their own leader kit to do the crafts with the children in the room.
Matt, can I pause you for a second? There are
Sure.
a couple of people waiting, I think, in the room for you to let them
Okay.
in.
Okay.
They must have been
Give me
late
one
coming
second
in.
here. All right.
Sorry.
All right. Nope, you're good. Let me. Oh, Judy Janke, Janetta, and Joel. Got it. Sweet. Awesome. They're in. All right. Okay. So room capacity really quick. This is including volunteers. So the numbers that you see for Wake Forest, the numbers that you see for Millbrook and nursery and the preschool areas, those are numbers that we've really worked hard on to crunch and to make sure that are appropriate for the sizes of the rooms and for what will allow us to operate safely. So for nursery, cuddlers and crawlers is at 6, walkers are at 10, runners are at 9. Preschool green rooms at 6, pre-K is at 12, purple rooms at 6. Wake Forest nursery, cuddlers and crawlers is at 5, walkers and runners is at 7, preschool, orange room 9, green room 8, blue room 11. So here's a very, very important piece that volunteers especially need to know: the screening and check-in procedures. At Millbrook, parents and volunteers should park, this is our recommendation, park at the west entrance, over by where you come in off of Hargrove. To the temperature and screening, the temperature check and screening for volunteers and children will be located in room 501. So when you walk through that Hargrove entrance, it's going to be the room that will be closer on the left, by where the welcome desk is. Volunteers and children will receive their check-in stickers, like they would at the kiosk at the nursery, preschool, and elementary stations, wherever they're going to be going that morning. Volunteers will check in. This is a big change that is going to look different than what we've done before. So volunteers will not need to wear a lanyard anymore. When you come in to serve, you're going to be checked in on a kiosk just like a child would, and you'll have a printed label that you will wear on your shirt that would be your lanyard essentially. And when you leave, you'll be able to take that off and throw it away. Some of you, I know for a fact, are so excited for this because you leave your lanyard either in your car or on your kitchen counter or somewhere underneath the seat in your car, and you can't find it, and you feel horrible when you show up to serve and you don't have your lanyard. Guess what? You don't have to worry about that now, because you will be able to check in when you serve, and get a check-in sticker that would be your lanyard. Wake Forest, volunteers and children will receive their temperature check and screening out underneath the shelter outside the lower level entrance, underneath the shelter there. And then you'll check in and get your check-in stickers, volunteers and children, in the lower level lobby right now. So again, listen, if you have questions about any of this, please make sure you use the chat feature, and we will get to them, I promise. All right, so the screening and check-in procedures continued here. So these are the 2 screening questions that will be asked on Sunday morning, when you arrive, and we're asking the same questions to everybody, children, family who are coming in. So the first one's: have you or anyone in your household had flu-like symptoms in the past 24 hours? Here's something to know. That has always been part of our sickness policy, to make sure that we are having our parents stay informed that if their child has flu-like symptoms in the past 24 hours, they need to stay home, so they don't spread those germs are all around. That's no different. So the second question to know is: have you or anyone in your household been in close proximity with someone who has been exposed to or tested positive for COVID-19? Close proximity simply means 6 feet or less for more than 15 minutes. So if anybody asks that question, that's going to be the clarification for proximity. Volunteers and families, though, will need to return home if they, 1, either answer yes to both or either of those questions, or 2, they have a temperature reading of 100.4 or higher. For example, this Sunday, I'm going to be planning to be the one at Millbrook to do the temperature check for children that are scheduled and RSVP'd to come. And the goal, when we ever encounter something like this, we're going to be handling this professionally, discreetly, graciously, and kindly, because we don't want any parent to feel embarrassed if they had their child get a temperature reading that they weren't prepared for whatever reason. Especially with little ones, temperatures can fluctuate quite a bit. And so we're going to make sure that we do a wonderful job protecting the identity of anybody who's coming Sunday morning and may need to turn around and go home. But those are the main questions that will be asked, only those 2 questions. Again, if you have questions about what any of this stuff looks like, please use the chat feature. So here's some nursery volunteer responsibilities. If you're serving anywhere else in kids ministry, preschool, when we open back up on the 13th, and even elementary, most of this stuff will apply to you guys, except for probably changing diapers in elementary. So, but you never know. Just kidding. Arrive 30 minutes prior to start of service and check-in. So we all need to be here 30 minutes before service starts. Every single one of us got to be ready to roll 30 minutes before service. Wear a mask. All volunteers who are serving at Crossroads right now, including staff, are required to wear a mask on Sunday mornings, as long as our church at large is saying that that's what we need to do. Nursery volunteers also need to wear gloves when they're changing any diapers. Assist children during craft time. Again, when you're assisting children during craft time, you're going to have a leader box that will have all the craft supplies for the children in your room is going to be in that box. The individual kits are just main items that those children would play with during playtime. That would be just for them, but all the craft supplies will be in one box for all the kids, and that's the leader box. We got a new feature that we're going to be using to present our Bible story and worship time. I'm really excited about this, guys. This is something that Laura first introduced me to, and then we, kicked the tires on it in July and looked into it, and we feel like it's going to be a great fit for our ministry. We're going to be utilizing a feature called Playlister on the TV and for the children's Bible story time. In Millbrook right now, that feature is in the walker and the runner room, and at Wake Forest right now, it's in room 103. But we may also be getting one put in the other nursery room that has a television in there soon. But essentially, this is going to be super easy, guys. Whoever is serving in the nursery room, for example, this weekend in the walker or runner room, all you're going to have to do to get the Bible story and worship presentation on the TV, you turn the TV on, turn the Apple TV on, click the playlist, and boom, it's all there ready to go. We won't even need to be connected to the internet to have it playing on the TV. It's super neat that we can have all of these playlists for all the presentations for our children planned out way ahead of time and synced up to all of the TVs in our area right from one computer. And so it's going to save us all a lot of time with fighting the technological beast and monster that there is. And so far, it's been a really good feature that we've been using it for families who are at home. So some of you who have been using this with your children at home, you've been getting the new Playlister links that have the presentations for your kids right there, all in one safe place. Other responsibilities is you'll be praying over our children. Obviously, we'd love for you guys to just continue to pray over our little ones as they are coming into our area. So one thing that we really love to do, especially in nursery, is having our volunteers just praying over our little babies throughout the morning, praying for their future, praying for them to come to know Christ, praying for their parents. We believe in the power of prayer in our kids ministry, and we want you all to feel that passion and that zeal with us as a team to make sure that we're covering our children in prayer. We'll disinfect area after service and remove and replace toys. We've got general toys that are for each service. So when the service, first 9 o'clock service is 9 a.m. service is over, we will have those toys removed and replaced with the toys that we have set up for the 11 o'clock service. So we're not intermixing toys between services, and we're not spending a lot of time disinfecting every single little item. We'll be able to do that safely and securely by just swapping them out and then cleaning them afterwards. We will not be distributing snacks for the time being in nursery and preschool, so you guys will not have to worry about that. Cleaning procedures. So our kids ministry is already really awesome at making sure that we have a clean and safe place, but we're just stepping this up a little bit. So room surfaces will be wiped down before children arrive, during, and prior to the next service. So tables, chairs, large, big place sets, be wiping those down. Classroom leaders will have those curriculum totes again with tailored lessons and craft items. Those totes, we have one for each service. So the runner's room has their own tote at Millbrook at 9 o'clock, and we got another one at 11. Vice versa for the other areas. Toys and items used during each service will be set aside and removed for cleaning, sanitizing afterwards. All right, and last but not least, our pickup procedure. Same parent dropping off will be picking up unless noted otherwise. Parents will follow the recommended social distancing route that we have in our spaces and remain 6 feet apart as much as possible. Pickup tags will need to be presented. Always need to make sure that we have those pickup tags when parents are coming to get their children. When they come to be picked up, we have to remove that identification sticker off the child to throw it away. And then parents will be given their child's craft at pickup time for them to take home. It's really important to make sure that we take that sticker off when they are being picked up. And the reason for this is if any staff member at Crossroads sees children wandering around in the hallway or with their parents, and they still have that sticker on, their first inclination is going to be that that child has either snuck out somehow, they weren't picked up by the right person. Those security tags need to be taken off the child before they leave at pickup time. So it's very important to make sure that we make sure that we do that. But that's the presentation for now, guys. Let me stop sharing here, get back to my screen. I know that was like drinking from a little fire hydrant there for a minute, but we're gonna take some time really quick to answer some questions here.
Matt, would you like me to read them to you, or do you want to
Yes,
try to
please.
scroll back through group?
I can see them. We don't have a ton of questions, but I haven't been able to scroll all the way back up. But
It's okay. Let me just start you out with.
Go ahead.
We had a question about the second question that was from the screening when they're coming in and having their temperature check. How recently and how far back are we going to go with, exposure visit? Just look at the second question and kind of expand on that one a little bit.
The second question and expand on it. So let me see here. So the second question is, all right, have you or anyone, so yes, so part of that question should have said 2 weeks. So it's 14 days. In the past 14 days. That's how far back we're going back on that question.
The next question was pretty much answered. We're asking our volunteers to arrive a little earlier than normal, but starting out, I don't think that we'll have a lot of kids at the same time, but it's best practice to do it the right way from day one. So if we're returning on Sunday, let's go ahead and create a habit of at least 30 to 20 minutes beforehand, because you can acclimate yourself to the room a little better. You can kind of read through some of the postings and the signs that we have now. You're going to come in, things are going to be really clean, but the toys aren't going to necessarily be laid out in the normal places. So you'll have to readjust, We've also had promotion Sunday or promotion move up day. So some of these kids are going to be new to a room. You may want to acclimate yourself to that.
Yeah, great point. It's always good to try and start out on the right foot, especially as we're entering into just a different season of what ministry looks like right now. We're still doing ministry regardless, guys, and we want to do ministry with excellence. And arriving early, I always tell my elementary team, arriving early just gives us a moment to breathe
and pray over the room.
Ministry ensues. Yes, yeah. And pray together. It just certainly helps us out so much when we do that.
We had another question that I thought was really good. Laura Stevens said, will we need to be wearing gloves when assisting with potty training with the toddler room? At our campus, both of those rooms do have a sink. So for your protection and for the child's protection, just with any diapering or potty training, I think it is suggested that you use gloves. However, if for some reason an accident occurs, you're right there beside the sinks, and just, your hands, their hands, wash, as much as possible. Yeah. But gloves and new hygiene kits will be provided. And yes. Someone had also asked about masks at drop off of the children and drop masks for the parent at pickup. If you want to expand on that, there was some question about that at one point, but I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah. So if a parent forgets a mask, if parents don't wear masks, if they've forgotten or they don't want to wear it, we're going to do our best to respect everybody's comfort level. But if they are coming into our kids ministry area, we ask that our volunteers are wearing them for sure. And if somebody needs a mask, we will have plenty of masks on site at each campus for them to get one. We're just asking that if anybody's coming into our kids ministry hallway, we want to keep everybody safe and ask them to wear a mask when they come in. Another question here, will the elementary age kids need to wear masks? Right now, we have not made a 100% formal decision on that yet, just because of how things have been playing out for that age group over the next couple weeks, almost now a month. Wake County Public School System's extended the reopening date of having kids come back into school, and we're paying close attention to that. So we have not made a decision yet, but we are working on making the wisest choice for that age group. So once we do, we will make sure to inform everybody thoroughly. So we are going to be running out of time here in just a little bit, guys. But we've got all of these questions here that we will answer if we run out of time. Will there be expectations given to the children when they enter the room at the beginning of each service? Perhaps a list we can run down. So yes, absolutely. Yes. When we open up elementary, for certain, absolutely, we're going to have our children know what the expectations are while they're in their rooms. Hopefully, to be honest with you, I hope and pray to God that when we get even closer to the point of us opening our elementary area back up, that we will have somewhat of a different landscape to work with than what we have right now. That's my hope. That's my prayer. But we will be prepared to inform our children, but most importantly, our parents, on what the expectations will be for them, since since things are going to be changing and have been changing fluidly. Um,
Kathy
yeah,
mentioned, Kathy Joe mentioned something about the Wake County Public Schools.
yeah,
What we're doing is we're monitoring not only schools, we're monitoring state, we're monitoring CDC, we're monitoring other churches. We're seeing best practices and we're gleaning from them. We are also making a lot of appointments with area experts. And then
mhm,
we sit down with our executive management at a church and we pour over these things. And that's why elementary has paused a little bit longer, because until we figure out, you know, what the best route is, we want to make sure we're doing things appropriately and slowly and prayerfully.
exactly. Yes. How will welcome desk work? So that's a great question. Thanks for asking that, Skyteria. So welcome desk is going to be operated by one person. So for example, this weekend at nursery, we're not going to be having all the families coming up to the kiosk and using the different tablets there and having multiple people touching it. One person at the nursery check-in station will check in each child as they arrive. And if we have someone new coming at the same time, we will make sure that they are able to have their proper white card filled out just as normal. We've got several different, we've got several example. We have several, oh, what are the things that they're called? The,
Yes.
the, oh my gosh, the word's
Sanitation
escaping me here, guys.
station,
No, Laura, what did I just grab for you yesterday at the check-in kiosk to fill out for, what is that word? Oh my goodness.
clipboards.
Clipboards. Thank you.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
You
We
can
have
tell we've
several.
had a little bit of overload when it comes to this
Yeah, just a
stuff.
little bit, guys. Yeah, we have several clipboards that will be prepared and clean to be able to use for new comers, families to fill out like a white card and their check-in sticker for their child. But we'll have one person at the kiosk using the tablet, and if we have two people able to serve at check-in, we'll have one person doing that check-in at the kiosk and somebody else off to the side helping this new family get plugged in and connected to where they need to go. So yes, great question, Skyteria. Good thing to know here too is that nobody in our kids ministry areas at the elementary hallway, nursery area, preschool area, you guys aren't taking temperatures of anybody. So all of that's being done in the respective locations at each campus. So every child and volunteer that comes, again, remember, they get their temperature check and screening at room 501 at Millbrook, and then in the shelter near the lower entrance at Wake Forest. Thanks, Laura. Clipboards, yes. So we got about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left here. If one of the
One question
children
for,
hug,
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So the hugging question. This has come up multiple times. um, Listen, if you're a parent, sometimes you may not know and how what to expect from your child from 1 minute to the next. Sometimes they're just going to come running up to you, be so excited to see you, and they hug you, and you're like, oh my gosh. So politely and gently, you know, give them a little side hug and make sure that when you're done that you sanitize your hands with hand sanitizer and suggest that their parent do the same with them.
Introduce the
But
new
it's,
elbow shake.
yeah, just,
Introduce the new
roll with
elbow
it.
shake with him,
Roll
kind of.
with it. Roll with it. Exactly. Just roll with it. Um,
Tap
that
toes. There have been a lot of really cute things, and you can Google those. We do tap
exactly.
toes. Tap
Yeah.
toes.
Tap toes is a really good
Real
idea.
quick,
Mhm.
will there be some indication, the last question, that they've passed a screening? We will have
Yeah.
stickers. Your volunteers, you'll get a sticker that says that your name, not your name, but it'll say screening, and it'll be like bright yellow, and it has the date
Mhm.
on it. The students as well, infants all the way up, will go through this screening. If someone does not pass a screening, you will not probably see them. They will not get back to your level. It will be handled by some representative from our staff. I don't think we're using volunteers for this for privacy. It may eventually get into a volunteer situation if that situation is showing that it's not um, awkward. We just
Yeah.
think that it's better that we have a staff person do that for now, and they will politely and very respectfully, discreetly, um, maybe just invite them to come back at a later time. Now, children are going to run fevers and temperatures. They're going to have ear infections. These kind of things will come into play. We just don't want to embarrass anybody, and we will keep it as private as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will we still lock doors during services? Yes. So for Millbrook, at least, the nursery hallway, once services started, that will be as normal. Door will close at a certain time. It'll stay locked. We'll have our welcome desk person there outside to let a parent in if they need to pick up early. So yeah, the doors will stay locked.
You're
Let's see
welcome to
here.
watch the Wake Forest walkthrough that Ryan sent out via email. That will give you some
Yes.
ideas. The Wake Forest team can view that. We're trying to lockstep the Wake Forest campus ministry as tightly as possible during this time, and then moving forward. I think it's healthy that we stay lockstep as much as possible with the preschool and the nursery program, as well as when we start the elementary program.
Yes. Great. Yeah, great point. Yeah, Wake Forest team, if you guys haven't had a chance to see that walkthrough video, it was well done. Wake Forest had some space challenges, a little bit different than Millbrook, and they had to really work hard at making sure they have a one-way in, one-way out plan. For Millbrook, that's not necessarily changing a whole lot with how you come in and out of our spaces, but we do have floor markers and what we call safe spots as well, that will help everybody stay socially distanced as much as possible. Let me see here. Will there be, Laura, you had a really great question for the kindergartners. Will there be transitioning, or yeah, when they move into the first day for
Will you
the
help
new
them acclimate?
kindergartners?
Yeah.
Absolutely, totally. Yeah. So when we get closer to having elementary open, right now that's scheduled for September 27th, we'll have some communication going out. We'll have a plan of what the little ones need to expect as they're coming up into kindergarten, what the parents need to expect. And then on that first day back into kindergarten, we're going to make sure that that's a nice, fun little special morning, not only for the kids, but also for the parents, so that they can know what to expect as their kids are moving into a new big phase in life. So we definitely want to celebrate that transition. That's a big one for parents. And we want to
Well,
partner with you guys as much as
the
possible
last
on it.
thing
Yeah.
that I want to say on that subject, we're not going to drop 30 kids in kindergarten at one time. They will be RSVPing just like there will be a slow transition in. And if you're a regular volunteer, it will be helpful because you can acclimate them to the way things are going to be flowing in the room when you're serving. Hopefully it will align with the person who's taking it, the following Sunday, or a team of you will get together and foster that security for not only the parents, but for the child.
Yeah. Lydia, great question. How are volunteers being selected each week, as in the past, or more systematically? So there's a little bit of both to that. Each campus has got its own respective challenges when it comes to scheduling volunteers. But for the most part, I'll speak for Millbrook for a moment. Millbrook is operating on the same rotational schedule that people who are already serving pre-COVID or were already on. So we don't want to just start from scratch and have a bunch of people that we need to fill in spots for. So we're keeping the schedule the same. So if you were serving on a first and third rotation, or if you were serving on the third Sunday, or if you were serving every week, we've got the schedule plugged into place like that. But then as we confirm where people's availability are, that's when we start making the adjustments. But For example, I've got some wonderful, amazing elementary team members who are jumping in to help us in nursery for the next few weeks. So big shout out to you guys for coming on board and playing bigger team player roles here as we serve our little ones together. But we'll also make sure that we are working with everyone's comfort level. Not everybody's ready to jump all the way back in yet, and for lots of different reasons. Some people have family members who are at a higher risk and want to be safe and make sure that they're not exposing their loved ones to the virus at all in any kind of way. So there's different levels of comfort, and we're working with everyone. So, but with that said, guys, listen, we've got a minute left here. I want to take a minute and just thank you guys so much for jumping in onto this. If you have more questions, please email Sarah Lynn, Laura, and I, and we will make sure that we keep you guys as informed as possible on any changes that come our way. But we really miss you. It's really a treat to see all of you here right now. I've got my gallery view open. I'm seeing everyone. And I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. Let me pray for us really quick, and then we will exit. Jesus, we thank you for your love for us. Thank you for our amazing team. Pray that you bless each of us, keep us safe, keep us healthy. And God, give us the strength and endurance that we need to run the race with perseverance and to make sure that we give all the glory to you, Jesus, for all that you're doing in the lives of us and the lives of our children. God, we love you so much. Thank you for our amazing church. And thank you for the wonderful people who are serving in it. God, we love you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, have a
Love
wonderful
you guys
evening,
so much.
and we will stay in touch and be in touch with you soon.